Here, what is going on YouTube? We are just getting started with another Amazon FBA Q&A. We got the TikTok live going here as always. So how was starting? Starting was one of the best parts, honestly. It's hard to describe that feeling when you're first getting started in a business venture, when you're first going through the steps. Don't get me wrong, it was tough to a degree. I had never, well, that's subjective. It was new, I should say. It was outside of my comfort zone. I had never started a business before, but I had the right guidance. I had the right mentorship. So that made it a little bit easier starting. And, the start of your guys' journey is going to be one of the most fun times. Don't take it for granted. Do you prefer private label or wholesale, and why? Private label all day, every day. It's the best business model on Amazon, both objectively and subjectively. Private label, higher profit margins, even with ads. Private label, you have control over your brand, control over your product. You're not competing on the buy box with everybody else. You don't have to just compete on price. You can actually compete on value. Private label is more evergreen. I know multiple people who have had a private label brand for 4 years, 6 years, 10 years even, and seeing growth on those products and the brand year over year. Whereas with wholesale and arbitrage, you're constantly finding new products. You're constantly repricing products. You don't have one product that's growing for you year over year, winning the buy box year over year. What is your key to successful launch first time? Justin, it's not like this magic formula, bro. In fact, if you guys notice, a lot of my videos are going to say similar things. And it's going to say similar things. It's going to be similar advice, because it's not like every year there's going to be this brand new strategy that's going to take you from 0 to $1 million or whatever. It's the fundamentals. It's a good product. It's differentiating from the competition, adding value into the market. It's understanding how to make the proper optimizations. So what was the key to my first successful launch was sticking to those fundamentals. Now, although my first product that I launched on Amazon was a success, I did have products that I failed after that. You know what the interesting thing about those failed products was? Is I didn't stick to the fundamentals. Y'all, I'll be honest, let's break that down actually. Is it necessary to do private label from the beginning? Does it help? Start with the business model that you want to end with. If you want to do private label, do private label. If you want to do arbitrage, and that goes for everything. Do you advise to start on OA? Not if you want to end with private label. Start with the business model that you want to end with. It's not like a progression thing. So he says, y'all, I'll be honest, you need a crazy investment and a really good product to sell. Also, you need 3K. Well, if you're talking crazy investment as in 3K, then yes, that's correct. You need capital to start a business. It's not something free. And actually, when you break down all the different businesses out there in the world, 3K is not a crazy investment. I'm not trying to discount it as a little bit of money, but it's not a crazy investment when you compare opening a franchise, starting a construction business, starting a media business, just the equipment that you need, starting a brick and mortar business, starting a restaurant, insert business here. Amazon actually is like a lower investment cost. And going over, and then the second point, you need a really good product to sell. Absolutely. It's not about clicking copy and paste on what everybody else is doing. It's, I made a video recently about how everyone thinks like, oh, I'm going to sell a phone charger or an iPhone case. And literally one of the comments on that video was, dang, I was thinking my first product to sell an iPhone charger. Why is that? People think that I'm just going to launch any product out there in the world and it's going to be successful. If only it was that easy. You do need a good product. You need to stand out, differentiate. What I mean by that, is stand out, differentiate from the competition, adding value into the market. So improving upon a product, improving upon its features, improving upon its design, improving upon the bonus items that you offer for that product. Those are going to be the things that separate you from the rest of the market. If I was getting a product design, can I have manufacturers in China not steal or sell it to someone? Not unless you have an international patent unknown. And even then, you don't need to, and this goes back to the differentiation. You don't need to reinvent the wheel, right? You just need to add a value to an existing product. Even some of the biggest brands that you guys love didn't reinvent the wheel. I recently launched several private label products on FBM. However, I don't have the featured offer and I'm not ranking. Any advice? A few things is are there any hijackers on your listing? That's going to be number one. Number two, being FBA is going to solve a lot of your issues. Not every issue, but it's going to make it a lot easier. If you're not winning the buy box of your product, then you're probably not going to be getting any sales. It's going to hurt your conversion. Even if you do get sales, it's going to be a little more expensive to get those. So that's something that you want to dial in. Make sure that you don't have any pricing errors on your product as well. Just finished product research and validation and landed on a product. Tips on the next steps. Suppliers. Go contact as many suppliers as you can. So, oops, please don't accept that. I accidentally just invited someone to the live. If you accept, I'm going to have to block you because that's the way to remove people. I don't know why TikTok even allows you to invite people who you don't follow to the live. That's a silly feature. Anyways, going back to this, contact as many manufacturers as you can. It's not one or two or three. Contact 10, 20 manufacturers if possible, because there's going to be some manufacturers who are willing to negotiate, some who are not, some who can do your differentiators, some who cannot. And then once you get the lowest quote from a manufacturer, you're going to start playing the game of using that low quote and leveraging it with all the other manufacturer quotes you get to get the best price. Should creating a brand name and setting up an LLC come before reaching out to a supplier? No. Just reach out to the supplier. Start getting quotes. Start moving the ball. Brand name it's important. It's somewhat important. It's like the least important when you're looking at the broad view of your business. Think about Apple. Apple is a fruit and it's the largest tech company in the world. Actually, I guess NVIDIA is now, but you know what I mean. The product that you launch is going to matter more than anything. Hi, Luke. Are you still working on a sourcing service? I think I remember you mentioned it before. I am, Haley. Yes, I am. That, God willing, is coming this year. The first thing that, I don't know if you remember back in the day when I mentioned that, it was the sourcing service and then the listing creation service for my students. We just launched the listing creation service a few months ago, and then now working on the sourcing service. Luke, these suppliers are beyond slow. Feels like I got to learn Chinese to get things going. Some respond faster than others, bro, but you also have to consider that, and I don't know if you're doing this, Phil, maybe you are. If you're not sitting down and, pulling some late nights to message these manufacturers, they're on a completely different time zone. So if you send 4 messages to a manufacturer, but then you go to bed and then you wake up and you're like, oh, they're not responding. Well, there's a time difference. And so if you're not just banging out messages back and forth for a night, then that's going to make communication a little bit more difficult. Now, if you are doing that and they're still lagging, I would hope not every manufacturer is lagging for you because that goes back to why you want to contact a lot, because some will be faster, some will be slower, some will be willing to negotiate, others will not. Awesome to hear. Yes. I started running PPC today, but not getting any impressions. Does it take a few days? No, your cost per click is too low. Increase your bids by 10 to 20% till you start getting clicks. Impressions and clicks, I should say. Yes, CC, I got you. Yeah, I was up till 4 last night. I might ChatGPT English to Mandarin to make things smoother. They have softwares that are automatically translating things. Just keep your messages simple. Good to see you too, CC. Keep your messages simple. That's something that I've found helpful with communication with these suppliers. I'll get to that in a sec, Diego. But don't sit and say like a 5-page paragraph on what you need, like bullet point style. Like, I need these differentiators. Boom, 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 boom. Just keep your messages simple because that's going to make it easier in the translation. Do you recommend I start FBA or FBM? FBA all day, bro. FBM is not the business. I'll move forward with your advice and see how it goes. Nice. A, thank you so much for the follow, and let me know how that goes for you, brother. Can you help people with existing products who are struggling? Yes, that is that's actually one of, I guess it's hard to really say this because I like helping everybody, but it's really, really fun seeing okay, hold on. It's not fun seeing somebody in this position. I have to word this correctly. It's fun when I'm able to help somebody who's struggling and optimize their metrics and things like that. So yes, most definitely, that's something that we specialize in the AMZ Masterclass. Can get you audited, and or obviously general free advice that I give on these lives. How did you get started? I started because I was working for my cousins, making $12 an hour, and I was working for their business. Actually, let me first say this part real quick. My graduation party, a few of the fam was there. It was a graduation lunch, I should say. The fam comes and my cousin starts telling me, and this is one of the cousins I was closest with. He's like 20 years older than me, but I was closest with him my whole life. And he starts telling me about, hey, bro, we're starting this new business. It's called Amazon FBA. And he's telling me the details. I was so checked out from like anything that the fam had to do. It was my senior year of high school that I was just like, wish you well. That's awesome, bro. And I was into him telling me it. I had, it is what it is at that point, or it was what it was. Like, cool, good luck. Fast forward, I had graduated high school. I needed a job. I was about to actually, I don't tell this part of I don't think I've ever told this part of my story, or at least often, but I was actually about to go to Santa Monica Community College just because, the idea of college was getting jammed down my throat. So I went and took the placement test or whatever. And I was going to move down to LA. And I was like, oh, nope, college is not for me. So when I decided that, I didn't have any direction in life. I knew I wasn't going to college. I didn't have these crazy skills. I wasn't an all-star in high school. I needed a job. I had a few jobs prior to this, but my cousins told my mom that they needed an employee, and she was like, Luke, why don't you go work for your cousins? So I did. I was working for them, making $12 an hour. I was still partying. I was hanging out with all of my friends. I was doing my thing as if I was still in high school, right? At that moment, those were my peak years of life. And I started to go down, and I was already going down a not good path. But in the beginning, I would tell my cousins, yeah, we went to this party, I went to this rave, and they were all like not happy, but they were into it. And then they started to realize like, oh, Luke is just going down a really not good path right now. So they kept trying to tell me like, hey, bro, like, why don't you listen? Why don't you start looking into Amazon? We'll teach you. It's a husband-wife duo, if you're wondering why I say they. And so they're like, hey, we'll teach you everything we know. You're working here 8 hours a day anyways. We got you. Boom, boom, boom. I had no interest. So after Santa Monica Community College, I had been rapping since high school. And I was like, you know what? I saw this thing, LA Recording School, and I was like, yo, told some of my boys, let's get this, guys. Like, let's go tour the school. We can go there. It's going to take our rap careers off. So we went and toured the school. They gave the little pitch at the end, $70,000 for like 2 years or something at LA Recording School. And I was convinced. I told my mom, I was like, listen, I'm going to take a loan. I'm going to go to LA Recording School. I told my cousins, I'm going to go to LA Recording School. Boom, boom, boom. Everyone was always supportive of my music, but I was no Eminem. So they were supportive, but everyone was like, hey, bro, is this really going to be the thing that's going to get you to financial freedom? The answer, if anyone was wondering, was no. So same thing. Cousins kept telling me like, hey, bro, like you should really look into something that's actually making money. I was still trying to be a rapper. Anyways, there was two things that made me decide to start selling on Amazon. I was working for my cousins one day, and it was like noon or lunchtime, maybe like 3, because our lunch was later because we started at 11. They showed me their sales for the day, and it was like $2,000 in sales. And at this point, they had another Amazon seller account. They were already successful, and this was like midday. I had never seen sales like that. I was like, dang. And then they showed me a video. You guys can still find this video on YT. It was titled "How She Makes 40K a Month Selling on Amazon," or something along those lines. It's from a channel, Project Life Mastery. I just saw a funny comment. Sorry. From a channel called Project Life Mastery, and it's his back then girlfriend, now wife, who was selling products on Amazon. She was 23 years old. This girl looked like someone that I would have went to high school with, no business degree, not a Harvard graduate, no business suit. You know what I'm saying? Like just your everyday person. And she was crushing it on Amazon. And after those two things, I thought for the first time ever, if they can do it, why can't I? So I took my cousins up on the offer and I let them teach me, not let them, it was a blessing. They decided to start teaching me how to sell on Amazon. I didn't have the money to actually go launch on Amazon because, for context, I didn't mention this part of the story. After high school, I had left home because of some family drama. So I was sleeping on my best friend's couch. I was terrible at tests. So I didn't have my license because I failed my driving test a couple times before I actually passed, more than a couple times. Didn't have a license, didn't have a car. I was getting driven to work and making $12 an hour. I was down bad. I was paying my buddy $300 a month for rent to sleep on his couch. So I asked my cousins, can I work overtime? 12 hours a day, 6 days a week until I have enough to start my Amazon business. It was music to their ears because they were in the Amazon game. They do things a little bit differently than I teach and do nowadays. So how with them, the more I was working, the more products were produced. The more products were produced, the more money they made. So it was music to their ears. I started grinding, I started hustling, and in the meantime, I started working on my Amazon business. This was 2018. At the end of 2018, I completely gave up the party life. I stopped. My last hurrah for like the party scene or whatever was a festival called Life is Beautiful in Vegas. That was September of 2018. After that, it was cold turkey, and I went completely on the business route. I cut off a lot of people in life because all they wanted to do was party. I cut off a lot of the old vices that I was indulging in, and I went all in on this thing called Amazon FBA. And on January 1st, 2019, my product was live, and I made my very first sale on Amazon. Within 1 month of January 1st, 2019, which is a little over 6 years ago to the day, I was making $10,000 a month in top line revenue, profitably selling on Amazon. I got the #1 bestseller badge, which, if you know anything, it's the most sought after thing as an Amazon seller. I got that my very first month selling on Amazon. And 6 years later, the rest, ladies and gentlemen, is history. And back to questions. When telling a supplier what exact product you want, do you give them documents with info so they know? I mean, not necessarily. It's pretty straightforward. Like, they'll send me a catalog or something. I'm going to choose a product. I'm going to tell them the bonus items. They're going to send me pictures, and then we go from there. I don't have much to start either. If you don't have at least 3K and you want to do the private label business model, you just heard the story. I was hustling. I didn't take a loan. I didn't put it on credit. I have a video on YouTube, for example, that's titled "What I Would Do If I Was Starting from $0," something along those lines. And that video is quite literally what I would do if I had zero. Not if I had $10, not if I had 50, not if I had 100, not if I had 1,000, if I had $0. And there, to give you guys a little spoiler, there's products around your guys' house that you can go flip on eBay. You can turn 10 into 20 and 20 into 40 and 40 into 100 into 1,000, right? Now, the question is, are you willing to put in the work to get that? I was listening to someone talk about a conversation they had. And it's like, nobody's hiring. The job market's so hard. And they were like, how many jobs have you applied for? They were like, 6. I think, and this was the quote from that person, I think that people lost the concept of what a lot or what pushing or what doing the 10xing your efforts is to achieve your goals. I want a job so bad, I don't have money. There's people on Craigslist who are probably offering day work. The question is always comes down to how bad do you want it? Any new tricks on Amazon since last live? There's always new tricks. It's about asking the right questions, Brooklyn, and then it unlocks gems for those new tricks. But I have a Rolodex of Amazon tricks and advice and strategies. But again, it's about having the right questions that unlock those. What is a good profit margin if my product cost is high, around $10? Should my profit margin be more than 30%? It should be at least 30% after FBA fees, cost of goods, and shipping. Adam, thank you so much for the follow on the TikTok live. Andreas, thank you so much for the follow on the TikTok live. How much money do you need to start FBA? I'd say 3K minimum. Story time on when you first started. Yes, sir. Keyshawn, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate you. Appreciate everybody in the live vibing, asking questions. Let's get it. JR, another one. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you so much for the follow. You could still do music, brother, especially now that you have the means. What is funny, Airstick, is I have thought of that. But at the end of the day, like, let's really dive or peel back the layers here. Was music my dream, or was my dream to be financially free? I always thought music was my dream in those early years because I'd watch the interviews with rappers. I'd watch the music videos. You see the big chains, you see the cars, you see that they're buying their mama a house and all of this. And in my head, it was like, that's the only way that I know to financial freedom. So that's why rapping was my dream. It wasn't necessarily, I enjoy music. I'm a huge music lover. All day I listening to music when I work, when I go to the gym. It's my thing. But I also love food, but I hate cooking, right? That was maybe a dumb analogy, but I can enjoy something without necessarily having to go all in on that thing. Music is haram. Maybe if you're listening to super secular music. I do also believe in that, like garbage in, garbage out. I think the music industry, like, yeah, I don't know. I do have rules about listening to music. Like, I'm not trying to listen to no sad or depressing songs because I'm not sad or depressed. I want to listen to positive things, positive messages. That just goes for everything that I try to consume. Media, if I do watch TV, TV, podcasts, just consuming good things, positive things, business things. Teresa, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate you. Do you know a company to file LLC? There's LegalZoom, there's Swift Filings, there's Northwest Agents. There's quite a few. I'm doing that too right now. I'm locking in hard. I got 7K ready to throw in. Let's go, Primo. That's awesome, bro. And that's what it's about. It's about, I love those two words, locking in. How many people are really willing to lock in, sacrifice, put in the work that's required? I know there's a lot of people who are, but there's also a lot of people who say they are, but when it's time to really get going, they're not. Is getting 300 impressions and reach for about $20 a day on Facebook ads low? With Facebook ads, it's going to depend on other metrics. Like, are you getting conversions? And like, it depends what your pixel is targeted to. Also, if you're starting on Amazon, I wouldn't run Facebook ads, just run Amazon ads. But in terms of Facebook ads, let's say you're selling a t-shirt. It would essentially be, how many conversions are you getting? And is the funnel profitable? If the funnel's profitable, then it's not good and you'd want to readjust. Even if you're making a little bit of profit, then you can just optimize the funnel and essentially throw more ad dollars into it. Private label, yes, Lionel, it is private label. Also, y'all, give me 30 seconds. My laptop charger is downstairs and my laptop's at 10%. I don't want the YT live to die, so give me 30 seconds. You can count, maybe 45 seconds, and I'll be right back. Less than 45 seconds. go. Congrats. Thank you. Do you need much to start? About 3K. How much do you That's funny. I'm not even going to say what it is, but that's funny. How much are you profiting now a month? If you don't mind, 6 figures. If you know, you know. Thank you so much for the follow. Would you sell your business for 24x profit on Flippa or Empire? I mean, brother, if I could get 24x profit, no doubt. That's not necessarily a realistic multiple. I mean, if you had a brand, again, not realistic. If you had a brand that was making $100,000 in profit a year, I don't see anybody necessarily buying that for $2.4 million. That's like a business that's doing, let's say, 300K at a 30% profit margin. That's, yeah. Because what you have to think, when people buy businesses, they're buying it with the intent, and no, it's not a live replay. I just go question by question, y'all. And I take time to ask everybody or answer everybody's questions. So you guys have to think, when wanting to exit a business, the people who are buying the business need to be making money. So there's two sides. Unless you have an insanely strong brand, which if you had an insanely strong brand, you're probably going to profit more than 100K a year. If I'm an investor and I want to buy a business, am I going to buy a business that's making 100K a year in profit for 2.4 mil? Or am I going to take that 2.4 million, start my own business, and then make 100K in profit? With 2.4 mil, I think if that was like my working capital to get started, I would definitely be able to launch products, enough successful products, where I would be at way more than 100K profit a year. So nobody's going to buy a business for 24x profit. Like I said, Lionel, I mean, trust me, you said, trust me, we do. That's cool for you, brother. But if you're buying anything that's 24x, you're getting significantly ripped off, and you probably aren't necessarily the best investor. Because going back to it, if anybody told me invest in my business or this or that, Luke, I want $50,000 for you to invest in my water bottle business. I'm going to go and I'm going to look at your sales, right? And I'm going to see, if I took this $50,000, how fast am I going to get my money back, and how fast am I going to be able to make more money? If I look at your business and I'm like, wait, with $50,000, I could go start my own water bottle company and crush your water bottle company. Why would I invest in yours? Then it's not a good investment. Again, paying 24, go watch an episode of Shark Tank, brother. Don't get me wrong, they're not 100%. They've lost out on like Ring and a few other really big companies. Neurogum, I know they lost out on that as well. So they're not 100%, but they've never paid 24x for a company. So good for you for doing it, but it's not smart or probably not a good business to invest in. Let's get it. You do wholesale? No, all private label. How do you deal with vendors that are way overpriced? They are overpriced by double. I just negotiate. You continue to negotiate. I've never not been able to get a good price on a product. And then not only that, take the lowest price that you get, use that as leverage to get lower prices from the manufacturer. And then you just rinse and repeat that process till you can't anymore. I recommend to start with FBA, Diego. EA, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate you. DTZ, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate you. Where to find private label products? Alibaba. I'm going to switch over to the YT comments real quick. Do you recommend using a sourcing agent? Not satisfied with the quote I'm getting on Alibaba. I've had good experiences with sourcing agents. You just got to find the right one. With 5K budget, do you recommend to create a corporation or wait until the business is having benefits? Profit is 30% after PPC or before. So your first question, I like to separate my business from myself. So I like the LLC route or corporation. And then the profit should be 30% before PPC on your first order. When do you set up your Amazon account? Do you have do you have to do anything to activate FBA? You just need to get approved for your seller account. And that's my step one, Shan. Hope I said that right. After a few months of PPC, will I start ranking organically and need to stop paying? You're never going to stop paying for PPC, but yes, you should start ranking organically. Favorite rapper? Honestly, I don't even really like all time in my life, probably Eminem. I listen to him the most, but like I don't really like rap anymore. It's all negative. And if I'm gonna listen to music, like my main genres are Afro, country, EDM, gospel, and that's about it. If I listen to anything else nowadays, it's just like already on the playlist, like in the background, for example, or somebody else is playing it. It was 20 seconds. Thanks, Mustafa. Appreciate you timing that, brother. Hey, Luke, I'm a college student and work a lot. I'm kind of scared to do this and I don't know how to get started. Warlord, brother, you and me both, man. I was in the same position as you. I was scared to get started. And I had two mentors who were Amazon 7-figure sellers at the time, guiding me that I saw 8 hours a day. And even me, there's that nervousness, like I'm going into the unknown. That being said, bro, like even if you have a couple hours a day and you're truly willing to give it your all, a couple hours a day to dedicate to this, it's possible. I don't know if you were in here earlier. I was working 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, and I still made the time to start and launch my company. Where to find private label product suppliers? I use Alibaba. Yes, I do private label. Industry, yeah, Ferrari, I agree with you on that. I won't go down that rabbit hole on this live though, but I do agree. Is it hard to switch a product from FBA to FBM? Nope, super easy. Manage inventory tab, select the product, drop down. It says switch to fulfilled by Amazon. Why are shipping so high lately? Shipping prices fluctuate. Right now, my freight forwarder is still getting pretty good rates. Is this live or video replay? I don't even think you can do a video replay that looks this clean on TikTok live. Maybe you can, but no, this is live, bro. Like I said, I just go question by question, so I like to, answer people's questions properly. ICs, thank you so much for the follow on TikTok live. Also, oh, dang, we're at 5.2K likes. Thank you all so much. How about if we get to 30 shares on TikTok, I will show live Amazon sales for the day. So drop that down below. Or not drop it down below, but hit that share button. Difference between EXW and DDP. Essentially, DDP is going to be like the supplier handles everything. It's direct to the doorstep of Amazon and everything is insured and everything. When you try to ungate brands, the products you buy, do you sometimes return back to ungate brands? I don't do wholesale, brother. I do private label. The profit on this account is 40% after everything. Any ideas how to get circle color options for variation on search page? Hold on. Any idea on how to get circle color options for variation? I don't know what you mean by that, L. I'm getting the phrase. I don't know what you mean. I get where you're coming from though. Yeah, I think 24x is insane. I would. I want to look this up. Has a public company. I think I have to ask AI this. Google's not going to give me the answer to this. Let's see. Okay, it does happen, but you're talking. It's happened very few times. It's happened about. So, and what I'm talking about, guys, is someone in here was saying that he buys companies for 24x profit. Historically, this has happened 15 times with publicly traded companies. And it is not by any means average, but it's also not unprecedented. But it also depends on the industry. Doesn't seem like any direct to consumer brands are being sold for 24x, at least the AI is telling me. So I know making a new account with an LLC, one deactivated, what all needs to be different? I know not legal advice. Literally nothing can be linked together, not the name, not the number, not the address, not the internet, not the IP address, not the device, nothing. Should I be doing anything while waiting on sample order? What was the listing website I should do? AMZ Masterclass Optimize.com. Yeah, just start working on your listing. You want your listing to be ready, so as soon as your product arrives, you're live. What's the lead time to do private label? About 3 to 6 months, and 2 of those months are manufacturing and shipping. The only time you really get into the 6-month mark is when you have delays. Sorry, I was reading something. Thank y'all so much for the shares. KJ, thank you so much for the follow. Are all your product supplements? No, barely any. If you get approved to sell Surrey face wash, then yes, you can. What is something people do after appeal, want to work after one account? Why was your account deactivated? Do you still launch new products? Yes. I'm on their website now. Whose website are you on? Can you send screenshot? I could show it right here. Show it when if we get to 50 shares and I turn the camera around to show sales. How do you improve order defects for FBM, please, if your rate is more than 1%? Number one, I don't do FBM. It's all FBA. So, there's something in the... there's something in your supply chain that's wrong. If people are getting defected items, you got to inspect it better, maybe package them better. Private label or arbitrage? Private label all day. Can you show us how to use the Buy Box Pro? I don't do arbitrage or wholesale, y'all. I do private label, so I win the Buy Box 10 times out of 10, 365 days a year, every day, 24/7. Do people simply use? No, don't use other people's information. Search up any product on Amazon. Some sellers will have multiple colors variations in a circle or phrase. Are you talking about the patches, the variation patches when you're looking at the listing, L? Many brands are asking for 100 plus units. Tough for people just starting out. It's going to be the same for private label. I start with like 100 to 300 units. Good place to find a sourcing agent, Upwork or Fiverr, like the color bubbles or the phrase. You can edit that in your edit listing section, L. How to engage Nike? You need an invoice of at least 10 units or more from an official wholesaler or distributor. Best category for first FBA product just started, product research process. I like a lot of different categories. Home and kitchen, office products, baby products, toys and games, pet supplies, tools, home and improvement, patio and lawn. When you go to your edit listing section on your parent variation, it should give you an option for the swatches. Live lagged. I didn't hear you. My bad. What was your question again? I was saying I do private label world, so I don't have to worry about the buy box. I win the buy box 10 times out of 10, 365 days a year. Let me check that out. Yeah, let me know, bro. Let me know. Let's get it. Also, y'all make sure that you drop your questions down below. And if we get to 50 shares, remember, we'll show live Amazon sales for the day. And I posted some gem videos on the TikTok page today. Nini, thank you so much for the follow on the TikTok. I appreciate you. Third to last video is talking about how I have hundreds of products to potentially launch on Amazon. I break that down. Second to last video, how to rank your product #1 on Amazon. And third to last video, the long-awaited finally launching our product for the 0 to 1 million series. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch that video and stay tuned for that series because it is a good one. Is the Helium 10 listing analyzer reliable to see your rank on keywords? Yeah, for the most part. How many different products do you aim to sell in the beginning? One. Start with one, because until you have one successful product, however many products you launch really doesn't matter. You have to learn the game, you have to understand the game, and you have to build from that. I want to do FBM, but I don't want to do physical products in hand. Where do I start? I don't want the physical product in hand. Where do I start? Exact steps that I teach collections. So I get product samples. That's the only product that I'll have in hand to test the quality. But then from there, my manufacturer I'm going to get a product inspection when the bulk order is done from a third-party inspection company in China. They're going to make sure that everything is good. And then from there, my manufacturer is sending my products from them directly to Amazon's fulfillment centers. And then Amazon is going to store all of my inventory for a fee. And every time I get an order, Amazon will pick, pack, and ship my order directly to the customer. Skyana, thank you so much for the follow on TikTok. Creating an LLC with a low budget is a good idea. If you have a low budget, then that's maybe when you start as a sole proprietor and switch over later once you get proof of concept. That's what I did when I first started. I don't know if you remember, but in our call, you said that the toys could do wonders on the main image. Yeah, little things like that, L. Is it hard to get approved to create a pet food brand? It's not about being hard. You just need the proper certificates and lab tests piece. If you have that, then it's pretty straightforward. You submit those, you get approved, and you're good to go. How do you do inspections on manufacturers? If you order products through, I have an inspection company, both through my freight forwarding company, and we're creating our own little inspection company as well that's going to be available to students. But outside of that, you would create one on Alibaba. Actually, my guy, I won't say who, but I have one person who's in here who's actually testing the beta for our own inspection company right now. Alibaba inspects like 5 units on average, and then our inspection company is going to do 30% of the units. So that'll be cool for less as well. But on that note, everybody, should we keep going? If y'all want to keep going, make sure you drop your questions down below. We can maybe run it for another, and we still got to show live sales. If you guys want to see that, make sure you hit that share button. Little hack is you can click copy link on the share button a bunch of times and it counts as multiple shares. You don't actually have to send it to anybody. E, thank you so much for the follow on TikTok. I appreciate you. Appreciate everybody in the live vibing, asking questions. Do we want to see live sales today? And do we still want to keep it going? User, thank you so much for the share. Let's get it. Hey, I already know we're going to get it. My guy User is about to get us going. And peace. Let's go. YouTube, I'm going to figure out a way to show you guys live sales because unfortunately it shows like our brand name and then our products on the side. And I can't I can cover it on TikTok because I can zoom into the screen. If I do a screen share on YouTube, obviously it shows everything. Let's get it. I'm on YT and TikTok. Let's go, Iman. I appreciate you. And honestly, like that really does help out a lot. And you're a real one for doing that. I know that there's some people who will do that as well sometimes. It does mean a lot when y'all are supporting on the YT channel, especially I don't mean to be the guy that keep talking about this, but especially because TikTok's technically still not unbanned. So we're building up the YT. We're establishing our presence there, bringing y'all like 3 to 4 YT shorts every day, a YT live every day, and bringing y'all a new long form video on YT every single week. New one just posted today, how to rank your product on Amazon. Before you end the live, check my, I got you, bro. Just for reference, brother, I usually will check messages like 2 times a day, once in the morning and then once at night. If you're ever wondering about that, if I have free time or a minute in between, I will check during the day. We need to check the samples or not. Yes, 100%, brother. You can't. And you want to know why checking samples is so important? We had a manufacturer recently. We contacted a bunch of manufacturers and we got samples for 3. One of the samples was great, and the other 2 samples were absolutely terrible. Terrible. Dog water quality, the worst. And so it's important to understand that, because what if we just assumed the quality was good, ordered from one of those suppliers, sent that to our customer? As soon as I opened the sample box, I was like, what is this? This is garbage. Ahmed, thank you so much for the follow, brother. I appreciate you. Private label, yes. Hey, thank you for 50 shares. Let's go. Should I get a little soundboard? Do you do quality assurance every shipment? Yeah, bro. Not even because I don't trust manufacturers, like some of the manufacturers we work with. Just things happen, bro. Like you just can't. You don't want anything to slip between the cracks. Because even if I'm a year into selling a product, I'm ranked in the top 10. I have 1,000 reviews, and all of a sudden I get one bad batch of products that could lead to 10, 50, 100 bad reviews. And what's that going to do to my product? So always want to make sure that quality is on point. Is targeting just one exact match keyword a good PPC start if that word is converting for me? It depends on the keyword. If it's like your main keyword, then yes, single keyword campaigns are great. You don't just want to target one keyword overall, but if you segment that into one campaign and you try to push rank for that keyword, that's a good strategy. One thing to note is if that keyword is in a campaign with 3 other keywords and that keyword's performing well, you don't want to remove that from the campaign and segment it. You want to turn the other keywords off because Amazon data. How do you know what to price your product? Do we go by average product price on Helium 10? You go based on what you're offering in the market. You want to be price competitive in the market based on what other competitors who offer something similar to you offer. And you also want to, oh, wait, hold on. Oh, my phone's going to die. Give me 5 seconds. Hold on. I gotta get a charger. It's gonna die, probably, maybe not. Give me a second. Hold on. I got a charger right here. Hold on. Oh, go. I know that it goes dark because my screen gets dark. Hold on. We did it. See, 1%. I knew it. Okay. I really love that iPhone feature that your screen goes dark when it's at 1%, because I used to let my phone die almost every day on live. You said it would be in what section? It should be in like your image. Send me screenshots, brother, off the top. Or after live, I'll go into one of my variations and I'll confirm that for you. Off the top of my head, I can't think about that. Anyways, based on what you're offering, based on what competitors in the market are offering, and you want to be price competitive, and you also want to be at a 30% profit margin after FBA fees, cost of goods, and shipping. Okay, thank y'all for 7.9K likes. Thank y'all for 100 shares. Let's go. Absolute all-stars, absolutely beautiful people. YT, I cannot see your comments right now, so I do apologize. I'm gonna dig deep real quick. It's called a swatch. How do I need to post a private label item? Create, it's a add a product button on Amazon, and then you're gonna create a listing. So let's do it. So we got today's sales. We got yesterday's sales. We got last 7 days sales. We got last 30 days. And then a little update from what's on the screen. Boop, 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 boop. Year sales. There we go. Y'all, I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for rocking with me on this live and all the lives and supporting the content. If you guys like the videos, you guys like the lives, you want the most in-depth guide, the Harvard of private label education on Amazon, and to have me as your personal mentor along your journey, be sure to check out the AMZ Masterclass Mentorship Program in the TikTok bio. I love y'all. God bless, and I will see y'all soon. Was it worth it getting... I don't do arbitrage, brother, but God bless y'all, and I will see y'all soon.